So I've come here to broadcast in Glasgow. I'm with the lovely Claire.
Hi.
Who's a singer in a band called Yacht.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, where are you from and what's the background of the band?
We're from Los Angeles. The band has existed for 18 years.
Okay.
It was originally founded by my partner, John, in Portland, Oregon in 2001.
Okay.
As a solo laptop experimental electronic group.
And was it originally called Yacht?
Yep, it's been called Yacht forever.
And you're going to tell us the acronym?
Yes, Yacht stands for Young Americans Challenging High Technology.
Okay, so you've always been in the technology side of it?
Yeah, always. Well, it's been about finding ways to engage productively in dialogue with our own tools and not let the tools dictate the course of the work.
Well, I was quite surprised because Rob was telling me about how you made a new album. And to me, artificial intelligence is quite a scary thing, where it's going in the world, and you've used it for something positive.
It's a scary thing. Its applications are scary. As a technology in its own way, it's no scarier.
It's the intent behind a tool.
Yeah, it's a tool. It's a tool, and it's complicated because AI, it sounds really sophisticated and it has many highly sophisticated applications, but it's also quite dumb.
Okay.
It's highly specified. I mean, essentially AI is like a sophisticated mathematical process for sorting and taxonomizing and classifying data sets, like in a really specific and discrete way with very little variability. So it's scary when that kind of technology is applied to something like recognizing human faces for law enforcement databases, or sorting people's ethnicities and stuff. I mean, that obviously is terrifying as an application, but the technology itself can be used to, sort and classify images and sounds.
So let's talk about how you used AI for the album then.
Yes, so it's essentially what we call a neural cut-up technique, which means that we used a couple different machine learning processes, which is AI, to generate large volumes of lyrics and large volumes of melodic patterns, drawing from our own history.
Yeah, Rob told me you got like your background, your back catalogue, and then broke it down into segments. And fed it into a machine.
Yep.
And then the melodies came out.
Yes.
The actual songs came out fully formed.
Just melodies, just MIDI data, like sheet music essentially. And not entire songs, but just long sequences of notes that by themselves are useless as songs. So we took all of because AI systems are capable of generating huge volumes of stuff very quickly. So you can generate hundreds, thousands of melodies in an hour.
Yeah.
And then
you couldn't use them all.
But once you have that, it's nothing interesting until you start picking through it and finding interesting patterns. So we basically went through these massive amounts of melodic data and patterns and found little riffs, little melodies, little moments that we thought were interesting, and then cut and pasted them.
Gonna have things like that, yeah. Because it's quite original, I guess. The melodies are quite unique.
Yeah, they're weird. They're like sort of. Yeah, they're sort of familiar, sort of surreal at the same time. It's this very interesting kind of uncanny space that we thought was really interesting. Like, it's not pop music, but it's not pop music either.
Yeah.
And it sounds like us, but it sounds like something different. It's
and
like
it could sound like a computer as well, some of them.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are melodies that a human being would just never write because they're really difficult to play or they make no sense to play, like on a keyboard or on a bass guitar. Like, you wouldn't. Normally when you write songs, you're writing them with your body and with your, in space and time, and you're doing what feels good. You're doing what feels natural, what you're used to, and that's not how these melodies were invented. So we didn't have to take these melodies that came from a really weird source and then try to perform them, and sometimes that's really quite difficult. So it was piecing together all of these unusual little fragments and then assigning the fragments to different instruments, so keyboards, bass guitar, drums, vocals, and then combining those with song lyrics, which were also generated by machines.
You took all your favourite band lyrics, many of them, put them in, and did they come out in like normal language, or is that all kind of William Burroughs cut up?
Gobbledygook. I mean, a lot of it is meaningless. It's all meaningless, but it's interesting to see how much meaning you find when you're looking through a bunch of meaningless text. And you start putting together images that sort of make sense, or assigning a narrative to lyrics that aren't there. I mean, a lot of what we could conceive of as meaning is projected onto the world around us, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of like it's like magnetic poetry or cut-up poetry, you know? You're sort of arranging these things together into a form, and then the meaning kind of comes afterwards. And sometimes it surprises you, and sometimes
and the meaning can have a different thing, at a different time, depending on your mood.
Some lyrics are kind of, I mean, a lot of the time the most effective song lyrics are
ambiguous,
songs which just sound good but don't really mean anything, you know? Like pop songs usually don't mean anything because they're just like the syllables that sound good with the right notes. What feels natural. And that's, a lot of that is...
But Bob Dylan kind of wrote that poetry where it went from the protest songs to kind of visions of Johanna and stuff like that. Which,
yeah, there's definitely. I think there was probably some Bob Dylan in the inspiration database.
All right. Yeah, you could have some Bob in there.
Well, you need a lot of data in order to train an algorithm properly. You need like tens of thousands of pages of text. So it would be smart to use some Bob Dylan lyrics because there's lots of them.
How long did that process take? It sounds like very arduous.
The process of like figuring out how to do it and who would collaborate with us and setting up the workflow that would work for us and figuring out how to translate all that stuff into songs, all of that it took about 2.5 years.
Yeah.
But the actual process of generating lyrics or generating melodies using these systems is like hours. Minutes.
Hours? All right. Wow.
Yeah, the interesting thing about AI is it's sort of the last technology the last computer technology that kind of takes a while, like to train an algorithm by, giving it all the training data and letting it sort of determine what it's going to do. That part takes a while. So it can take weeks to train an algorithm, especially a really sophisticated one. But once it's been trained, you can run it infinitely over and over again, and it goes very quickly.
So what do you think then, just to talk about AI of the future, or people talk about transhumanism and stuff, are you hopeful for this? Do you got an idea?
No, I'm not hopeful for the future at all.
Join the club.
I think the future. This is my take. I think the future is very short. If we fuck up, which I think is likely. I think the future is very short, but the past is infinite. And the interesting thing about artificial intelligence that people don't fully understand is that it's a technology that is entirely reliant on the past. In order to create an algorithm, you have to give it all this data, and that data can only come from our own history, like images from the history of humankind, songs, texts, faces, relationships, all these things, we give it ourselves. So it's like this way of understanding history and understanding the past in a more sophisticated way. If you use it in that way, I think it's not as scary a technology as when you try to use it to predict or classify the future based on the past, because our past is much too complex and much too rife with prejudice and bias and various other horrific things we don't want to reinforce.
Yeah, saying the AI could be like an alien intelligence, kind of assimilating humanity. Like
it feels like collaborating with an alien intelligence. So it's a different way of thinking. It's not thinking, but it's a different way of understanding.
It's got no emotion as well.
Yeah, it's not thinking, it's not seeing, it's not doing anything.
Just processing.
We personify these things. It's really just mathematical processes that are happening very rapidly. But when you deal with like the output of these systems, because it's using human words and the relationships between notes as its source material, we can't help but find some kind of accent or personality to it, and that personality feels alien in a really interesting way. It feels like collaborating with another species.
Wow.
in a way that like is challenging and good, and helps you understand the complexity of intelligence.
Yeah, the future is, past, present, and future is only now, really. But make the most of the present, as you said, and we'll see what happens with all this shit. Hopefully, the good will out. But anyway, your music is certainly making a positive difference in the world, and your stage presence is awesome. I really enjoyed your show.
Thank you.
So good luck with the rest of the tour, and thanks very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you for caring and wanting to talk to us about our stuff.
Oh, here's the rest of the chaps. We've got Rob and Jonathan.
Half of Jonathan. Jana.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Billy.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for